Nate Simpson. How's it going?
Howdy, how you doing?
Pretty good, pretty good. So we met at the Emerald City Comic Con. We chatted a little bit. You had a new book coming out from Image. Since then, I've heard nothing but praise about Non-Player, which is kind of cool. Right?
Kind of terrifying, too. I'd like one person to find some flaws in it.
Exactly. So for the people who haven't heard all the buzz, what is Non-Player? What can people expect when they get the issue?
Well, Non-Player is a story about a girl in the future who delivers tamales for a living, but spends most of her time inside a massively multiplayer online game. Yeah. And she ends up killing a non-player character inside the game, an AI-controlled character, right around the time when the non-player characters in the game are achieving sentience. Right. So the non-player characters want revenge, there's a blood vendetta, and that spills out into the real world. So half the story takes place inside a sort of fantasy realm with sword and sorcery. The other half is sort of dystopian Los Angeles of the future.
Very cool. Very cyberpunky Neil Stephenson kind of,
I love Snow Crash. In fact, somebody pointed out the other day that the tamale delivery thing is very similar to Hero Protagonist's pizza delivery thing. Yeah. And I'm sure that's where I got it, although it wasn't conscious. It must have been subconscious.
An influence of that sort of thing, yeah. One of the things that struck me about the book is the art is just amazing. It's just absolutely beautiful. What can you tell people about your process or your approach, your visual approach?
I'm pretty slow. These are slow cooked comics for maximum flavor. Yeah. They're all drawn digitally in Photoshop using a Wacom Cintiq tablet monitor, which lets you revise sort of infinitely, which can be bad because it makes you take longer to finish because there's never any danger of erasing through the page. Right. But you can also, get things pretty nailed down if you've got the time to spend.
Very cool. So, how has the reaction been as pages starting to come out and the issues starting to leak out? Have you got are other publishers knocking on your door yet, or have you gotten kind of any interest?
Yeah,
it's more stuff from Image.
Yeah, there's certainly been a few offers. I'm pretty dedicated to finishing off Non-Player before I really entertain anything too big at the moment. I may do some cover work on the side just to help make ends meet, but Non-Player is my main gig until it's done.
Cool. So is it an ongoing or a mini, or how long will Non-Player play out for?
Non-Player is a 6-issue mini. Okay. In order to get the entire story to fill, the final issue may actually be double length, but it will be 6 issues. Yeah. The 6th issue may be like 180 pages. Hopefully not. Yeah. But yeah, 6 issues is what's planned. Yeah. And do you think that the Non-Player world is a world that you want to revisit through your career, or is this story one and done and move on? There are places for the story to go. Yeah. Many of the characters survive. Yeah. And yeah, so I have a rudimentary idea of where the story can go. I think a lot of that is also just if there's demand. Sure. Yeah. Of course. And I have other stories I'm working on as well, so I'll have something to do. Cool. And so now, do you play multiplayer games? Not only do I play them, my wife works at an MMO company. Oh, wow, okay. So you've got a lot of knowledge about this. Right, right. And my previous career was as an artist at a game company as well. Cool. So a lot of the stuff in the comic is informed by that experience. Yeah.
I'm here with writer Jason Aaron. Jason, how are you doing?
I am pretty good.
We're all a little tired, I think.
We're a little bit tired. I think we maybe stayed out too late last night. I wasn't even at a zombie pub crawl. You have a better excuse than I do.
X-Men Schism is the big announcement of this convention. It's going to change the X-Men world, if what we're told is correct. What can you tell us about it?
It's going to change the X-Men world. Yeah, I mean, it's going to be huge. It's the biggest thing I've ever done. It'll affect the X universe in a big way. It'll affect the Marvel universe in a big way. It's really just a story about Scott and Logan, and they hit a crossroads in their relationship, and it changes everything. I can't say what happens, why it happens, how it happens.
Please tell us the ending.
I can tell you there are lots of giant robots if you like that sort of thing. There's pretty much every X-Men character I could think of is in there at some point or another.
Now, it's a 5-issue miniseries, and you have a rotating cast of artists, is that correct?
Yeah, it's like a wealth of riches art-wise. Like, I'm really flattered. There's a different artist for each issue, so we have Carlos Pacheco is doing the first one, and then Frank Cho and Daniel Acuna. and Alan Davis, which is really cool, and then Adam Kubert, who I've worked with before. So yeah, amazing group of artists.
So are you tailoring this issues to the artist's strengths, or is it did they come after you wrote it?
No, I suck too much to do that. I try to do that at times, but no. I mean, Frank Cho did tell me I needed to put as many hot chicks in there as possible, so I did try to do that. But no, I mean, all these guys are so good. Like I just try to leave things open enough and let them do what they do best.
It must be really exciting to have a lineup like that. I mean, Alan Davis especially is he's legendary.
Yeah, Alan Davis is one of those guys I've been wanting to work with for a while. Huge fan of his stuff. Going back to his run on Detective Comics was like when I first got into Batman and loved that stuff.
With the curly hair Robin.
Was that the curly hair? Right. So yeah, I'm really excited to be working with all these guys. I mean, even Adam, who I've worked with a few times before. It's a pretty awesome group of artists.
Now the train's rolling along in Wolverine, and it's interesting in Rick Remender's book, he's taking your storyline that you started in Wolverine Weapon X with the...
Damn that Remender, stealing all my ideas.
So he said you guys collaborated, you worked together on that. Is that something that you guys are going to do more often now that he's got his X book?
Yeah, I'm not collaborating with Rick Remender. I don't know what he's talking about. Yeah, I mean, he picked up the threads of the Deathlock stuff I'd done in Wolverine and ran with that a little bit. Later this year with other X stuff I can't talk about after Schism, I'll be picking up some threads of stuff from X-Force. So yeah, I mean, it's fun to always swap stuff and back and forth like that. And Rick and I have, we've been friends for a while. We've talked a lot about collaborating directly on something. It's just kind of fallen through a few times. So that'll still happen at some point.
Now, Wolverine, you seem to have a really good handle on Wolverine. What is it that's so interesting with the character? Because he's been around forever. He's been written. At one point, it seemed like every book he was in. What is it that you find unique that you can bring to the character?
I don't know. He has big claws and stabs things with them, and doesn't talk much. That's easy to write. Spider-Man's hard to write because he talks a lot. Wolverine, not so much. I don't know. I mean,
it's just fun to write.
Yeah, it's the character I came into comics on. The very first story I ever did was a Wolverine story as a talent search winner, and then when I came back to Marvel, the first stuff I did was Wolverine. I've been doing Wolverine ever since. And it's one of those characters I've never gotten bored with. Like, you can always do completely different kinds of stories.
You can drop him into hell.
You can drop him into hell. I mean, there's an arc coming up later this year that I'm writing right now, which is without a doubt the darkest, grittiest Wolverine stories I've ever written.
More than the cannibals?
Yes. I mean, this is more like in scalped veins, scalp sort of territory as a Wolverine story. Then the arc after that will be just a batshit crazy Big Trouble in Little China sort of story. So Wolverine's one of those characters where you can do that. You can totally mix it up from arc to arc in terms of genre and tone and everything.
That must be very freeing to be able to do this. I'm going to do a samurai arc, or I'm going to do a hell arc. I'm going to do all kinds of different things.
Yes, it is, yes.
Or I'm going to put him in a buddy comedy with Spider-Man in your miniseries that's wrapping up soon.
Exactly, yeah. I mean, that's, again, something completely off the wall. People have responded to that because it's not what they expected. Not what they expected out of me. And yeah, and that, the last issue of that book's about to come out, and that ends with a bit of a tease that sets up something I can follow up on later. So we'll see another arc like that in the pages of Wolverine. There'll be that same sort of wacky, crazy, big ideas, throw everything against the wall, sort of a love letter to Grant Morrison arc.
You mentioned Scalped. Scalped is still trucking. The latest issue sort of hinted that there's a lot more to come. It was talking about the future, actually, the narration, if I'm correct, if I'm not too hungover. Right. How far planned are you? Are you entering the end, or are we still going?
Well, I always avoid answering that question too particularly. I never want to put an issue number on it. Sure. We're getting close to the home stretch. And yeah, the last issue hinted at things to come. It didn't necessarily hint at a lot of things to come. It hinted at something big coming.
I assume the big coming thing is a happy ending for everyone.
It is a happy ending. There's a big picnic and a softball game. It's like one of those old X-Men issues where they all play baseball and everybody lives happily ever after. No, we're starting to get to some of the endings for some of the characters. Like Lawrence, the guy who's in prison, won't see him anymore. Like that's his ending from a couple of months ago of him in prison, pretty much forgotten.
Right.
So we're starting to get to the endings of some of the characters. We'll have a couple of more in the months ahead. So yeah, we're getting to the home stretch.
Now, you've been writing this for a long time. How does it feel to wrap up these particular arcs? Do you feel satisfied? Do you feel sad that you don't write these characters anymore? Or is it just good to just get to the point where you've been planning?
I don't feel sad yet. I probably will at some point.
Yeah.
It's still just surreal because, you know, when Scalped #1 came out, I had written literally two comic books. At the time, nobody knew who I was. Nobody knew who Gara was in the States. So to think that we could make it to 50 issues, like issue 50 is about to come out, it's still, mind-boggling to me because, like, if you want to lay odds on Scalped #1 when that came out, like lasting to 50, those odds would not have been good. So it just blows my mind that I've been able to tell this much story and, knock on wood, looks like I should be able to wrap it up the way I want and tell this, end the story the way I want. So right now I'm still just happy. And someday I'm sure when I realize, like, wow, I don't get to write these characters anymore, that'll be a little sad.
Then there'll be Return of Dashiell?
Right, we'll do
Wolverine.
We'll do a reboot and we'll do Ultimate Scalped. We'll just start over and everything will be happier.
Now you're going to have one of those epic Vertigo runs to go alongside of like Brian K. Vaughan's Why the Last Man and DMZ from Brian Whitman. This is like one of those pillar Vertigo books. It must be very gratifying.
It's awesome, yeah. I mean, again, I never would have imagined that. I mean, I grew up just a big comic nerd, Vertigo stuff. I loved some of my favorite comics the last 25 years are Vertigo books. I remember the first time I got Scalped greenlit and met Will Dennis, my editor, and he took me out to dinner, and I'm sitting next to like Azzarello on one side and Brian K. Vaughan on the other. I was like, what the hell is going on? So yeah, I mean, it's still amazing to me that I get to throw my name in the hat with any of those guys.
Now, Gara, you guys work together really well. Are you going to want to work together in the future, or are you guys done with each other now?
No, I hope we're not. I'm not done with him. He may be done with me. Yeah, we for sure want to work together. In terms of what that'll be, I don't know. I mean, as Scalped starts to wrap up, like you'll either see my next creator on projects hitting around that time, or you'll certainly hear about them. They'll be in the works.
So you've got creator on projects in the planning stage.
Right. Yeah, I'm in the talking stages at this point. It's more figuring out where I'm going to do things and how I'm going to do it. So yeah, there's other stuff coming. Gara and I have talked about other things we would like to do. It'll just be a matter of figuring out, when's the right time and where do we do it. And, and Marvel's keeping me pretty busy too. This is going to be a crazy busy year for me. Next year will probably be even bigger.
Very exciting.
It is very exciting. I'm excited.
Don't you touch me. Don't you touch me. Just be cool. Don't you touch me. Don't you touch me, I'd follow.
So I'm here with the new Marvel editor-in-chief, Axel Alonso. How you doing?
How you doing? Good.
So we're here. You're San Francisco. You get a long history of the city. It's good to be back.
Born and bred.
Yeah?
Absolutely, yeah.
And you're a La Taqueria man, right?
I just went there with Jason Aaron and treated him to their delightful food yesterday.
So I can attest to that, to those tacos.
Yeah.
So you recently became the new editor-in-chief of Marvel. Now, the editor-in-chief role at Marvel, not a lot of guys have sat in that chair before. I mean, like, there's, it's a long legacy. Quesada before that, and Bob Harris, and Roy Thomas, Stan Lee. How's it feel to be the new editor-in-chief?
It feels great. I'm excited. I've got an incredible staff. I've had 10 years at Marvel now. Working close to Joe to learn the ropes and get a handle on it. And last year, as Joe became more and more involved with the larger company and Disney, it was for myself and Tom Brevoort, SVP for publishing, to sort of fill in some of those cracks. So I'm excited.
Yeah. And so, moving into the role, what would you say is your vision for Marvel in the future? I mean, assuming you'll be in this role for a long time, like Joe was, like how do you approach the future of the Marvel Universe?
Well, I mean, it's worth noting that it's not like you've got a Republican administration leaving and being replaced by a Democratic administration.
It's a regime change.
It's nothing like that. It's not a hostile takeover or a coup. Yeah. I've been involved in much of the planning that we've had in the past. Most recently, I had my first retreat with the big guns, where I sat at the head of the table and I had a specific course I wanted to suggest to the group that we take.
Yep.
So that was new for me. I'm very excited not only about what's coming up right now with Fear itself, Matt Fraction and Stuart Immonen, but Schism, which we announced here at the retreat.
Yep.
You've got major events in both the Marvel Universe and in the X-Men worlds, and I think that you can look forward to seeing more and more integration and larger stuff involving everyone in the near future.
Right. Well, Fear itself, it just seems to be like a massive event that's coming up, and it's got a lot of good buzz going into it. I know that idea started kind of last year with it, but as you go into it and address it from the entire line of Marvel Comics with the crossovers and other one-shots, how do you position that with the other editors to make sure that it's not an overwhelming event?
Well, the key thing we try and do with all of our events is twofold. We try and make sure that we've got a spine story that tells the essential story, and that if readers are interested in seeing what's most relevant to the Marvel Universe, they can read that one series and get a fulfilling read. Of course, we also provide tie-ins that can illuminate and elaborate on certain aspects of that story and make for a deeper, richer experience for the Uber fans. But we're very careful to make sure that series, whether it's called Civil War or Secret Invasion or Fear itself, reads as a whole, as a complete and satisfying read. Secondarily with events, we like our events to have meaning to the reader, to the real world. We like to make sure that we're using what's unique to our medium, which is the widescreen action afforded by, by superheroes, to say something about the world in which we live. And in Fear itself, we're saying something about the world right now. This is a world in which there are people who are capitalizing on the fear that's out there. There's understandable fear in the air, global. About everything from the economy to natural disaster to acts of terrorism, and it's an incredibly good time for people, whether they're pundits, politicians, or fake religious leaders, to tell you, you're fearful. Let me tell you what the source of your problem is. It's that guy over there. To provide the answers and profit on it, either politically or financially. And I think this is Marvel's statement about that era, this era that we find ourselves in, and this dynamic.
Yeah. So is the series progressing well? You happy with how it's coming out?
I'm thrilled by it. Again, Matt is really come into his own with this series, and Stuart Immonen, who I love and brought to Marvel a long time ago and haven't worked with. I love you, Stuart. It's his career work.
He's so good. He's so good.
It's amazing. Yeah. He'll be a household name now.
Yeah, awesome. So you mentioned here at the show, we announced, you guys announced X-Men Schism. So you, under your editorship, you moved the X-Men to San Francisco.
I sure did.
And now here in San Francisco, announcing what's supposed to shake the entire line. X-Men is one of those books where, I'm a longtime X-Men fan, and we've kind of seen its prominence kind of wane over the years. What can you guys do from an editorial standpoint to get X-Men kind of back to where it was, as a industry, as a leading line of Marvel? Yeah,
well, I mean, in the last year, we've had 3 #1 books:
True, yeah.
X-Men, Uncanny X-Force, and Wolverine, all debuted at #1. So I'd argue that X-Men are as prominent as it used to be. Of course, the market right now isn't what it was way back in the days of 17 variants, and maybe that's a good thing. That's a necessary adjustment for the market. It's the real numbers now. I'm just thrilled with the quality of the books we've got, and when I came on as X-Men group editor many years ago, I inherited a certain status quo. One of which was that House of M had decimated the mutant population, and we had to start with that and build a story that was a natural outgrowth of where we started. And Messiah Complex was the first part of that. Second Coming was the next. Schism is the third. As of our last retreat, we know what the next act is, and we're very excited about that as well.
As an X-Men fan, you've got a great team between Remender and Aaron and all those great guys working on the books. I mean, it's coming to be a really good time for the X-Men.
Yeah, we're all happy, from Ed Brubaker to Matt Fraction to Victor Gischler. We've got some real great writers, and we try and make sure that the writers we have something to say, and it's not redundant.
Yeah.
We like each book to have a mission statement and a reason to be. Uncanny X-Men and X-Men are very different books, and we intended it that way.
Yeah, cool. So now the books that you didn't have editorialship before you came in this role, like the Fantastic Fours and the Avengers, Spider-Man, how is it working with those teams and expanding out, kind of is it hard to keep track of all the stories?
Yeah, to a degree it is, but the biggest adjustment for me is I'm no longer line editing books. I don't go to work and then call up a script on my machine and go in and make an Axel master edit and draft. I sometimes will do that with outlines for other editors, giving my 2 cents on the progression of the story. I'm just urged to take much more of a macro approach. It's an adjustment for me, but it's one that's going more smoothly than I would have thought. Let's put it that way.
That's excellent. That's great. So what are you most excited about that's coming up from Marvel that we might not have heard about? Is there any creators that we should look out for or titles? Or?
Well, I'm obviously, I don't want to be part of the hype machine, but I am very excited about Fear itself. I think that it's a story with a lot of meat on its bones and a lot of substance. I guess if I were to give a shout out to a book that I think deserves a larger audience, it would be Punisher Max, which Jason Aaron and Steve Dillon are on.
The Bullseye character. Oh, he did great with that.
I think it's amazing. Everyone I know whose opinion matters to me is in awe of that book and where Jason and Steve have taken it. And the best stuff is yet to come. The first act was just a warm-up. But it's a book that when I read the script, I just cackle with delight.
Yeah. Back here in the Image booth again with Mr. Robert Kirkman.
Yep. Hey, what's up?
How you doing? So this is mere hours before we're going to tour San Francisco with you in a bus filled with zombies.
Can we do another video after that?
Yeah, we might have to.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't drink at all, so this is going to be an adventure for me.
It's not about the drinking, it's about the camaraderie and the fun.
That's true, that's true. Watching people get drunk, though, not the most fun thing in the world? I don't know. We'll see.
You get to see San Francisco, though, which will be good. So.
It's going to be fun. I'm excited. There's going to be a lot of people there, I think, so that'll be good. Cool, I like people.
So, our last go-around was in New York.
Well, the thing is, I almost didn't want to do anything because, Frank Daramont's not standing over there, and, I can't top that.
That's true.
So let's just lower expectations on this one and just
we take it down and
end it right now.
Okay, that's good. So that was Robert Kirkman. So the TV show came out.
Yeah.
Huge hit, renewed, all this great stuff.
Yeah, I was a little shocked, gotta say. I thought it was gonna flop, but whatever. People like zombies. I'll take it.
Yeah. So what I thought was interesting was that, like the book, the ratings went up with every episode.
If I was talking to AMC right now, I'd say yes, it's because of the book, and you guys should really value me. But I don't know what happened. I thank God, I guess. But it's really cool and shocking. I hear from people that are like, my grandmother loves your show. I'm like, really? That's a little weird, but people seem to like it. And honestly, it's a testament to what Frank Darabont was able to do with the show. He's an amazing filmmaker, and to have someone who does such good movies go, I'm going to do a TV show, and it just blows me away when I watch an episode of The Walking Dead, just how cinematic it is, and it really is like watching a zombie movie on TV, which as a zombie fan, if I hadn't done The Walking Dead, I'd love this show. Not that I don't love the show as it is, I don't want to give people that impression, but it's just a cool thing, so
So, as the writer of Walking Dead and being involved in the writing staff, the show, as you told us, would take some diversions, a pretty big one with the CDC and stuff like that. How did you respond to that as the show's creator? To kind of see other people play your toys.
Well, yeah, Frank before we actually, it was Comic-Con, the year before, it was a long time before we started actually making the show. It was hey, I think I want to have these characters go to the CDC at some point. And I was like, the CD what? I don't, the disease people? Okay. And he goes, yeah, they're based in Atlanta, so it seems like it's a natural thing for them to. I had no clue. I just didn't know.
Did you pretend like you knew?
Well, look, it's not. What is this, like a jaywalking segment? It's not like everyone knows where the CDC is. That's a very
specific thing.
Yeah, I thought it was really weird that Darabont knew, to be honest. But that guy's a little kooky, so whatever. But I thought it was a cool thing. It does make sense, and it was a way to give a little bit of information without actually saying anything about the origins of zombies, and it was good to see the characters in a different environment and everything at the end. And being on set, it was air conditioned, so that was pretty awesome. Like way better than like being out in the field where it's like 190 degrees. So that was pretty good. But yeah, I mean, I liked it. It was cool.
So has production started on the next season yet, or have you gotten roped in, or are you still relaxing before?
No, it's a funny thing. Like I'm actually like in the writers' room full time on the second season, which I haven't really talked about publicly. So maybe that's it's an iFanboy.
So they got you. They got you to LA, huh?
Yeah, I'm in LA for the year, and my family's there.
Wow.
We'll see if we like it. If there's an earthquake, we are gone. But for now, you know, it's sunny, and you know, I mean, I am probably the fattest person in the state of California, so that part of it is a little uncomfortable. But maybe I'll lose weight. You know, that'll be good, right? Wouldn't that be good? I'll be healthy and live longer. That'd be a good outcome. So I'm liking it so far.
So, and what's the writer room experience like?
It's awesome. Yeah. I mean, it's awesome. Glenn Mazzara is in there. He wrote the 5th episode on the 1st season. Frank is in there like every day. Like, I don't know. I'm a big time director, but I like sitting in writers' rooms. And like he's giving us great ideas, and we're all working together, and it's coming together. Really, it's really cool.
Cool, awesome. So
I think the second season is going to be like way better than the first, and the first was pretty good. So I think it'll be pretty cool.
So how is being in the writers' room, being in LA? You know, are you affecting your comic work at all? Are you ahead?
I wear sunglasses when I write comics now. You know,
you can hang out with Joe Casey, haven't you?
I have a dog that I carry around in a purse. I avoid Joe Casey as much as I can. No, it's not. I mean, you know, the writers' room works in a block. You know, like they start at like 11 sometimes, and so I'll wake up really early and get to the office at like 7 a.m. and work from 7 to 11 on comics, and I'm packing it in where I can and working late at night sometimes. So you know, my life is awful. You know, but I mean, it's fine.
Yeah. So now I read Walking Dead in hardcover, so don't spoil anything for me.
Oh, did you see the thing?
No,
the new issue.
No, but everyone's been talking
about
the one
it.
Thing? So is there some way to talk to them about it without fucking up for me?
Keep reading. I hope you liked it. I mean, I don't know.
I heard it was pretty shocking.
I don't know. I guess. I mean, whatever. Just having fun with it, right? I mean, I don't know. These people gotta die. That's what the book is about. So, you know, whatever.
It shouldn't come as a surprise.
Not that I'm saying that guy dies. Maybe he doesn't die. I don't know. At the end of the issue, I don't know. Yeah. He won't know where the issue is. I got no idea. I'm not spoiling anything.
Who knows when the hardcover's coming out?
I mean, the hardcovers are coming out on
They
time.
are. Yeah. It was a long way, but they have been a lot better. So.
Yeah.
Anyway, so Invincible. So Vulture War ended with Invincible, and you've changed the status quo of the book a little bit.
Have I?
Well, yeah, there's a secret threat now.
Tell me what's happening in my book. I don't remember. No, it's cool. I mean, yeah, there's Vulture-mites on Earth now, and you know, we'll maybe see them someday. Yeah. Maybe not. But you know, they're an ever-present threat, and you know, and Nolan's back on Earth. I'm talking. Okay. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. Eve gained weight. That's cool, right?
Yeah, true. Yeah, what's up with that? So she's gained that was the definitive thing. She's gained weight.
Yeah. No, she's you know, she had a hard time. Mark was gone for almost a year. She thought he was dead. She let herself go. I mean, it happens in real life.
Right. Yeah. No, it's very.
I don't know. Like, I mean, honestly, it's something I stole from Larson, who's right there. If you want to pan over.
Yeah.
But But anyway, aside from comics like Savage Dragon, where awesome shit happens all the time, people don't do things like they do in real life, like gain weight or get old. And so, you know, like he does it in Dragon, and I figured I'll do it in Invincible, like whatever. But steal all my ideas from him, just some. But yeah, I just thought it would be cool to, you know, see the character change, and maybe she'll lose the weight, so calm down. But maybe not, you know, maybe she'll just be a little chunky. She's still attractive. She's still a beautiful woman. So whatever.
So is it good to get the characters back to Earth and do some more superhero stuff after the sci-fi?
Yeah, I mean, the book has been very different for the Vulture-mite War, and it's been much bigger, and you know, there's been all kinds of cool stuff happening. But I'm really excited to get back to Earth. Yep. We're going to be announcing a cool thing at the panel here in a bit for the next year of Invincible. That's pretty exciting. I guess I could talk about it now.
Yeah, this comes out after that. Yeah.
I don't want to spoil it for the 5 people over here, but yeah, we're gonna. There's gonna be a different person in the Invincible costume.
I saw the artwork,
and we don't know why. How did you see the?
I got it in an email today. Well, kind of a big deal.
PR.
See this little flag?
All right, whatever. But you know, I'm not going to say why there's a different person in the costume, but you know, it's something that we're going to be exploring in the next year, and I'm pretty excited about that. So.
Awesome. All right, cool. And you got something with a dinosaur coming out for us? Some sort of dinosaur book?
Super Dinosaur? That's pretty cool.
Kind of awesome.
It's kind of awesome, yeah. No, I got copies of the printed book, and I was like, oh, like this is my comic. I'm not supposed to be excited about this, but wow, the guy's got robot arms. No, I mean it's you know it's a lot of fun. I mean it's the most fun comic I've ever worked on. It's a little kid with a robot like beating people up, and his friend is a Tyrannosaurus Rex with giant robot arms. And I mean I don't know. It really is a comic book made for my son.
Yep.
Like that. I was reading it and I was like, I just did this for my kid. Like, I don't care if anyone else reads this. I did a book that has all the things in it that my son likes, and I hope that my son has very broad tastes that other people have too, because like it really is, you know, and Jason's kids like it too, and you know, so hopefully it's Jason Howard, the co-creator and artist of the series, super talented.
Looks like a lot of fun. Looks like a lot of fun to do.
It's kind of cool, but I don't know. I'm really excited about it coming out on April 20th. So yeah, maybe it'll be out by the time these guys get this online. Who knows? I don't know how quick you guys are.
We try, yeah. We take our time. Excellent. So cool. Well, I don't want you to do much longer. Busy guy at the con, huge lines and everything like that.
You're gonna ask me about the Infinite at all?
Oh yeah, the Infinite.
Come on, man.
Yeah.
My new book coming out in August.
I don't get USA Today, so I missed it. So
yeah. See, well, all right. We don't have to talk about it. I understand.
So I don't
want to steal all the press.
Working with Liefeld.
Dude, it's awesome. That guy is the coolest.
He is, yeah.
No, I mean, if I can take Rob Liefeld's energy that he just has in the world. Because I mean, people don't know this, but like Rob is like the best guy in the world to hang out with because you don't really have to talk. You're just like, I'm going to relax and enjoy myself, and he's going to tell me interesting stories for the next 8 hours. Like, it's awesome. And then he's going to see this and be like, shit, I do that. Damn it. And the next time I see him, he's going to be like, I'm going to make you talk now, asshole. And I'm going to be like, I don't like talking. So it's going to be rough. But
we just role-played that. That was good all by yourself. It was like, it's a one-man show.
All right,
so how did it come about? I mean, like, you know.
Well, I mean, Rob and I have been friends for a good long time now. I mean, he hired me when I was broke and like living on the street to do a Youngblood thing that I ended up not being able to do because I like to Marvel. And you know, we've been buddies ever since. We did Kill Raven together at Marvel. It's sitting on a shelf.
Someday we might see it.
Did I say something, guys? Did I do something wrong? I don't know why that's not out yet. But I don't know. I think they think it's going to help me if it comes out. So they're like, screw him, we're never letting that book come out. But it's like, oh, whatever. I'd like to see it someday. But anyway, that'll come out one day. It's a cool book, man. It really is. Kind of upset that it's not out yet. So they got me. But whatever.
I got one already.
But yeah, and then we're doing Image United together, the book that never ends. It's going to be a lot of fun.
What was that? I've never heard of Image United. What was it?
Well, it's this book I did a couple years ago, but it's still coming out. The artists on that are some top flight guys.
The Infinite. So
then we did Image United, and now we want to work together some more. And we decided to come up with something cool. It's a time travel sci-fi epic. And, it's about a guy that goes back in time and teams up with himself. So, it's playing on that whole, like, if I could only talk to my 16-year-old self and tell him he's being an asshole, you know? It's that thing.
Cool.
They do that and they fight robots and shit.
And so when's that going to come out? Or?
It's coming out in August.
Yep.
And, a lot of people do a lot of jokes about Rob Liefeld's books not coming out and shit. Like, I'm aware of it, whatever. But I can tell you right now that we're working on issue 3 right now.
Well, he's very upfront on Twitter about how much is done and how he's cranking, and he's very positive to follow.
Can I just say that not only he's doing that, but he's also fighting me tooth and nail. Like, really, I gotta get over. What are you on my ass about these pages for? Like, what's going on? We got so much done, and I'm like, yeah, let's keep getting stuff done. And he's like, calm down. We're ahead of schedule, and I'm like, come on, hurry up. So yeah, I think he tweeted the other day like, I sent 14 pages. I sent the 14th page of this issue to Kirkman, and he was like, yeah, where's more? And it's like, that was an exaggeration. That's really what I'm doing. I'm like, yeah, that's great. Give me some more. It's going to be good.
He really just needs an editor, really. Just say, hey, where are the pages?
It's true.
Yeah.
It's true.
It's good.
But I mean, no, he's getting really far ahead of schedule. I mean, we're hoping to have like 4 or 5 issues done for the first issue ships, and I also want this to be the first series that Rob has done where he's done like a successive like chunk of issues without there being a fill-in. So I think I don't know that the guy's done 10 issues without having a fill-in.
That's the run, the classic run on a book. That'd be cool.
Yeah, I mean that's modern comics these days. You know, you're lucky to get 3 issues out of anybody. That sucks.
Yeah, but you have, I mean, working with Otley on Invincible. Speaking of which, burning the pages. Did you see that?
Yeah, like what the?
Did he ask you if you
wanted? Cuss here, right? Like, what the fuck is that guy's problem? Like I was looking at that and I was like, well, I mean, like you have my FedEx account number. Like just put them in a fucking box if you don't want to look at them. Like I don't understand. But I mean, I don't know, like maybe it makes his pages more valuable to know that the crazy son of a bitch is burning them. So like, I am now before their ashes, I guess. Like, I don't know.
They had fun doing it, it looked like. I mean,
and the photos would be like, I'm a maniac! Look at the fire! Whoa! I need to talk to him about that. Yeah, I would have advised against that.
Yeah, well, it's comics, that's happens. So Infinite, Super Dinosaur, Walking Dead, Invincible, got anything else coming up, or are you gonna work on any other stuff, or is your plate
I'm announcing today that I'm leaving Haunt, so that's exciting. Yeah, right?
So cutting one off the schedule.
Yep, yeah, moving on, you know, just moving things and changing
the game?
Schedules, I don't know, changing the game, yeah. That's a callback. That's good. But no, I mean, I got a lot on my plate, and I think that, you know, Todd's got a good handle on that, and Capullo is leading the book, and so I was like, well, the idea of me not doing this book with Greg Capullo is not fun to me. Like, I mean, I love the book, but I mean, getting to work with Greg Capullo every month was like the highlight of doing that book, and like, I couldn't imagine doing it with anybody else, and so I figured, you know, might as well jump ship. But I mean, I know the creative team coming on. I think they're going to wait and announce it at a later date. But it's pretty awesome, and I'm really excited to see what they do. So yeah, book's in good hands. But 18 is going to be my last issue. So.
Excellent. Well, all right. So we're going to hang out later tonight.
We're going to end on a sad note. I
feel bad. You've got a panel to go to.
I don't want someone out there to be late.
You want to go interview Larson? Do you want to go?
That wouldn't go over well. So you got 9 minutes.
You got 9
minutes. Let's walk and go to the panel. No, I'm kidding. All right, well, thanks a lot.
Thank you.
It was a lot of fun. I'll be at my panel.
All right, we'll see you later tonight.
Yeah.
Have fun. Don't drink too much tonight. No. Oh, hug.
And so that wraps up the Epic Con Marathon that we've been on for this past month. That's part 1 of our WonderCon coverage from San Francisco.
We had a great time, a lot of great interviews. We have even more, so stay tuned till next week. We got part 2 of the WonderCon coverage. There's so many interviews. I can't even take it.
It's too many, yeah. So come back next week for part 2. But until next time, you can follow us on twitter.com/iFanboy or go to iFanboy.com where you can read all the great articles, watch the previous episodes, email us at contact@iFanboy.com, or give us a call on our voicemail line at 188-FANBOYS. That's 188-326-2697.
So we'll see you next week. Hang around.